Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 4 to 5. Eric Chilton, Lauren Coleman, and we have Tim Buckley with us today.
Yeah, welcome everybody, whether you're watching at home on Fire Stick, Roku, or the WFMY News 2 app.
All right, we're beefing up weather coverage today. Obviously, we're watching the radar pretty closely, Tim.
Yeah, we are. And the good news, guys, is that so far, so good. We haven't seen bad storms, and hopefully that continues to be the case. We can kind of see the radar. Where is it? Over here. There it is. Scattered showers have been moving through the area, and we're going to keep that going for a little bit. Winds have been blowing a little bit as well throughout the course of the day. I'm going to click back a couple so we get the proper view here. But anyway, scattered showers moving through the area. We do have a few downpours, as you can see. This one just to the south of Greensboro and closer into Randolph County. You're seeing a little bit of a heavier shower at the moment between Lexington and Asheboro. Those showers are coming down hard at times. Really right along US 64, and this is something that is not concerning me at the moment. There's no sign of rotation, there's no sign of lightning or thunder, but throughout the afternoon, as we continue to see showers like this start to form and we get warmer, it's possible they might be able to get strong or even on the severe side. That's what we've been talking about for several days. On the wider view, you can see back to the west, there's not much action building, which is good news. The bad news is the sun is starting to come out in these areas, so we may start to see more storms bubbling up, getting stronger and moving our way. They are moving from southwest to northeast, basically right along I-85. So storms that are in Greenville go to Charlotte and then come to us. That's the movement for today. The National Weather Service, the Storm Prediction Center, the experts on these things, they do have us at a level 2 risk for severe thunderstorms, but also for an isolated tornado as well. And you can see why on Futurecast around 7 o'clock tonight. It has the radar quite busy in our area, so it is still possible that we could have a tornado warning or two to cover for you later today. We hope not, but that is something you need to keep in mind. So bottom line, there is a risk of damaging wind gusts through now to about 8 o'clock this evening. Also that lower risk of flooding and tornadoes. We will keep you up to date, not just the next couple of hours, but really until that threat is over with, and make sure you have a plan in case a warning is issued for your area. That way you and your family know what to do to get safe and stay there until the threat passes. We'll keep you updated.
Make sure you stay weather aware by keeping our free WFMY News 2 app close. It's easy to download from either the Apple Store or Google Play. There you'll have the latest weather updates right in the palm of your hand. Turning now to 2 top developing stories at 4. Right now, 2 people are in a hospital after they were shot by a Burlington police officer. Police say it happened at a home off Sellers Mill Road early this morning. The homeowner says an unknown man broke in and started acting erratically. When officers got on scene, they say the intruder and the homeowner were struggling over a gun. Police say they tried to get both men to stop and fired shots to get them to comply. Both the intruder and the homeowner were injured. The officers are now on administrative leave, and the SBI is also investigating, which is standard procedure in officer-involved shootings. We've also got new details on a shooting that injured a 19-year-old and 2 children. It happened yesterday in Asheboro on Coleridge Road. That's near Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Today, the police department updated the public on the condition of the victims.
2 of the victims are juveniles and they're still in the hospital, is my understanding. One is listed as in serious condition, but everyone is expected to recover, so that is good news. One of the victims was a 19-year-old, and I can't identify him. He is from Asheboro, he's 19, and his name is Shaheed Marshall. Shaheed Marshall. He's 19, and he was treated and released.
Officers are looking into reports of a car that may be involved in the shooting, but due to conflicting reports, they are not releasing that information just yet. This is a developing story. We'll keep you posted. Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. A 6-year-old woman is behind bars after police say she stabbed someone multiple times. Burlington police say it happened at a Walmart on South Graham Hopedale Road last Thursday. Police say Regina Fort stabbed Nakia Smith several times. Fort was arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Right now, she's in the Alamance County Jail. According to new data from the North Carolina Health Department, there's about 9 overdose deaths in our state every day. Officials say well over half of those cases involve fentanyl. The tally for overdose deaths in 2021 isn't out just yet, but researchers do expect numbers to rise. We'll take a deeper look into these statistics coming up at 5. It is day 3 of the Supreme Court hearings for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. If confirmed, Judge Jackson would be the first black woman to serve on the nation's highest court. Today, she faced questioning from North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis about the release of incarcerated people during the pandemic. Tillis said it appeared as though Jackson advocated for the release of all prisoners during the start of the pandemic. In response, Judge Jackson said that was not a correct interpretation of her written opinion. She said if Senator Tillis read 2 sentences down, it would clarify his questions. Tillis did not read that section, saying he had to move on due to time constraints. Right now, 2 North Carolina teams are getting ready to hit the road for the NCAA Sweet 16. The Lady Tar Heels will make their way to Greensboro this evening, and the men's basketball team will soon be on their way to California. The Duke Blue Devils have already arrived there. They face off against Texas Tech tomorrow right here on WFMY News 2. And on Friday, UNC will take on UCLA. That game is also right here on News 2. So that is very exciting, especially for our folks in North Carolina, and we know we love our basketball.
Yep, Duke going all the way to California, Carolina, and Philadelphia. So it's a big games for both of them. Obviously, you know, for the Heels, people didn't expect them to be here, so it's kind of an exciting turn of events. I was listening to a podcast today about that, and even the guys that do the podcast inside Carolina were saying, you know, this team just turned it around at the end of the year. Nobody really knows how they did it.
I wonder how many people from North Carolina are actually going to travel to go see the game, because I believe we did a story before saying like that's like a $4,000 trip, $5,000 trip.
Well,
are you trying to go?
For the Duke, I wanted to go. I can't because I had other plans this week and my daughter's birthday. But they are, yeah, it is expensive, but at least the Philadelphia trip you could drive if you wanted to, but that California, I mean, that's going to cost you to fly out there. But the Duke faithful will be there, guaranteed.
Exciting times.
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's talk about our forecast too and see what's happening with that. Tim, any update?
You know what, Eric, we're still watching the radar, which so far is really not that busy as we go into the rest of the afternoon. Scattered showers do continue, and then for the evening, we watch more of the storm concern. We're going to have the latest updates throughout the course of this 4 to 5 newscast. Stay with us.
Well, you could say for the Piedmont, the word of the day is weather. Right now, we are tracking that chance of severe storms across the Triad. And Tim, we're looking at this, you know, if we get those breaks in the clouds and things heat up a little bit, that could be trouble for us.
Yeah, Eric, the good news about earlier today was we had a lot of cloud cover and a lot of that steady rain. But now we're starting to see the steady rain has moved out. The clouds are thinning, and we also have warmer, more humid air. I bet if you step outside right now, you'll notice it's really humid, and that can help thunderstorm development. The good news, though, still not really seeing that. We are getting some hints that things are starting to change a little bit in the atmosphere, though. As I zoom you in here, we're in Randolph County, Asheboro, Randleman, and then you see right over the border, right along 64, as you get closer to Lexington, there's a real doozy of a shower. We have to watch out for things like this. Just to the north of Denton, that downpour bears watching as we go into the next 30 to 45 minutes. All of this is moving from southwest to northeast. So just imagine you're taking a drive from Charlotte to Greensboro. That's the general direction today. Just some heavy rain at the moment north of Randleman, south of Level Cross, right along 220 and 73. Not easy to drive in or fun, but it shouldn't be damaging or severe. We'll keep an eye on that cell right there near Denton, though. Overall, not too much back towards Charlotte at the moment, just some scattered downpours, but we are seeing stuff starting to pop in Georgia. The timeline on that would put it closer to us by 7 and 8 o'clock. So really, between now and around 8 o'clock, we still have to keep an eye out for damaging wind potential and an isolated tornado here or there. If there are any warnings issued, of course, we will let you know, and we will stay on with you until that threat is over with. But so far, so good. Here are the general ideas. We see that timing between now and 7 o'clock, the damaging wind gusts and tornado threat we've mentioned. It's always good to have a plan, right? You need to have that plan of where would you go if you need to go somewhere. There's your latest Futurecast model. This shows you around 8 o'clock. That could be when we see the toughest weather moving through our area. After that, though, things start to calm down a little bit, and certainly by midnight, we're in much better shape going into tomorrow. Your Thursday starts out with scattered showers. We'll dry it out a little bit throughout the day, and then wind will be another story yet again for the weekend. Imagine that, another windy weekend in the Triad. I think we'll have it. It'll also be cold as we go into Saturday and Sunday, with highs in the 50s and lows in the 30s.
So parts of the same storm system moving across our area caused major damage in Louisiana. You got to take a look at the destruction there. This video you're about to see is from Araby. It's a suburb right outside of New Orleans. One woman there said that she felt her entire house move.
We heard it coming down the street. It was a lot of whistling, so we had enough time to get in the bathroom, and it shook the whole house.
Officials say at least 2 tornadoes tore through New Orleans and surrounding areas. They also confirmed at least 2 dead and several more injuries. Right now, authorities are assessing those damages down there. Here's CBS's David Begnaud on the ground with an up-close look.
The twister moved through New Orleans' lower 9th Ward without doing much damage. But as it touched down in St. Bernard Parish, it was devastating. James Dickerson was in his home in Araby, Louisiana, with his 5-year-old son.
And the house started shaking, and then when it pulled the roof off, I was, sheltering him, and then it was pulling me off the ground.
His house is now ruined.
Dining room here, I had bookcase, anyway, there's the front door was there.
Oh, that was a church.
The damage in St. Bernard Parish is widespread. Power lines are down everywhere. Streets are littered with debris that is actually pieces of people's homes.
It's the porch of my friend's house. It doesn't have a roof anymore.
This tornado spawned from the same weather system that originally started in Texas on Monday and caused extensive damage there and in Oklahoma, and now 3 other states along the Gulf Coast as the line of weather moves eastward.
We heard it coming down the street. It was a lot of whistling.
Back here where we are in Araby, Louisiana.
I'm just glad mostly everybody seems to be accounted for. I think there was a couple of issues a block away from us, but other than that, we're safe.
As we were driving around assessing the damage, we saw this school bus tossed like a toy. That's a 25,000-pound school bus, so you can imagine the force of this tornado. And right across the street, this home was moved off of its blocks about 5 yards, and then it pushed into the neighbor's home, pushed the neighbor's home, into the other neighbor's home. I mean, this is where the front door used to be, right? You go into the house right here. That's where it is now. The family was inside when the tornado moved it off its blocks. Imagine that. David Begnaud, CBS News, right outside New Orleans in Araby, Louisiana.
Wow.
That's the power.
Wow.
And that's the power of those systems.
Yeah.
And if you've never seen that in person, that type of destruction and literally homes moved off a foundation, you don't know what, it's incredible to see.
And just
Yeah, scary, right? And that's what they had in Texas, I guess, 2 days ago now, Texas and then Louisiana. And just to be clear, this is not something, or certainly it's something we hope doesn't happen here. Those are really strong tornadoes, not weak ones. Those are strong ones. And I think for us, we kind of have to be on the lookout for weaker storms here that could still put down a little damage.
I look at this and I just think about the cleanup efforts that are
Yeah.
underway
Oh, yeah.
because our folks out in Louisiana and Texas, they get hit time after time after time.
They do.
I mean, it's just really sad to see all of that. I mean, look at that.
I know. And my wife travels to New Orleans on business quite a bit, and she said that there's still Katrina damage that they've still
Absolutely.
been working on with
That's
that type
right.
of thing. So for this to come through there is a big deal. And Tim, are we seeing anything that we're concerned with at this time? Or
Not anything to that level. Certainly we have no warnings, but there is a little cell near Denton and Lexington that I think we want to keep a little bit of an eye on shortly. That'll be headed up toward Thomasville soon, and we'll have plenty more radar updates for you. But this type of stuff is really tough. And people forget last year hurricane season was real quiet for most of the U.S.
True.
They got a horrible one in New Orleans, so they just get all kinds.
They don't need that. that's for
Keeping
sure.
our friends down south in prayer.
For sure.
Yeah. We'll be back. Stay right there. So if someone asked you who would win in a fight between a couple of pigs and a bear, you think the answer is obvious, or is it? Because this happened in New Milford, Connecticut. The pig's owner, Rebecca Shaw, checked her Ring camera footage and saw a bear climbing into the pen with her two pet pigs here. Take a look at this. Mary, the larger white pig, went into action, went against on the defensive there, went against the bear. Then the darker one, who's called Hammy, I love that name, got in as well. Shaw said she raised Hamlet, was his official name, Hammy is the nickname, from a piglet, and they were both later adopted. Good news is they're both super brave. Eventually, the pigs won the battle. The bear left. The bear said, "I am out." She said all he did was just basically eat a little hay.
Wow.
And then he got in
I
there.
almost wonder if they were playing around.
It didn't look like the pigs were. The bear might have been playing
Yeah.
around. Because he started eating the hay first, and then he or she jumped into that cage, and the pigs went on the offensive right away.
I just didn't expect that to happen. You would think the pigs would have been afraid, but
Oh,
they're just
absolutely.
still, even after he jumps out, they're not even paying him any attention.
Can you imagine that you didn't check your Ring footage, and then you're like, let's just see Oh my.
This could be the 4th or 5th time that this happened.
That's right.
They're like, oh, here goes all Charlie trying to play with us again.
If this bear, because I can't tell if it's full grown or not, I don't know.
It
Black
kind of
bears-
looks a little like it could be like a cub maybe.
Yeah, like maybe a young adult, but I'm just thinking like if that one has a mom and then they come back, it's on.
This is
man.
going to be a showdown for sure. Well, just like the courageous spirits of these little pigs, our U Day moment is about fear. Here's Coach Lamont with a message about helping young children conquer what scares them.
Many of you have children who are dealing with fear and anxiety. Recent events in our nation have left them feeling unsettled and unsure about the future. Now, as parents, our job is to infuse hope into their hearts. This can be difficult, especially when in secret, we're feeling the same instability. But there are a few things that we can do to help them and help ourselves at the same time. Number one, create a consistent, safe environment in our home. Number two, allow them to share their fears without you being dismissive. Sometimes they just need to be heard. Have honest, age-appropriate dialogue and give them a perspective of hope. Refrain from sharing negative viewpoints that they cannot properly process. Instead, focus on the importance of love and gratitude. And lastly, have dinner as a family and talk about the future in a positive light. This will teach them to focus on brighter days which are to come. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
One thing I'll say with this to kind of reiterate that is that you can't be dismissive with children. You can't, because what's little to us is huge to them. And if you don't give them the respect of listening first before you go, no, that's not true, you have to let them be heard. And we've done the monster search where we look under the bed and we check in the closet and everything just with them to make sure they understand that we respect this, even though we're telling you nothing is in there, but you understand why.
This is a really powerful message from Coach Lamont. I do not have children of my own, but at one point I was a child,
Right.
and I think having that connection with your parents and that open dialogue and feeling comfortable to come with them with the problems that you have at a young age, it'll start to happen as you get older and older and older, that when they are in trouble or need some help, they don't feel afraid to come and ask
That's
for
right.
that help.
And at that age, you're building the foundation.
Yes.
So it may seem like nothing to you, but later on in life, they'll base their trust in you on how you treated them when they were little. So very important as parents that we open up our ears and listen up. We're going to take a break. Be right back.
I can do it. What is she still saying? I don't know what she's talking about. What we got going on now? Oh, do you want to know where they are?
Calling all snackers, we're paying homage to the perfect combination of food, chips and dip, my favorite. Today is the National Day of celebrating the tasty dish. It can be enjoyed on any occasion, whether you're watching the game or your favorite shows. Chips and dip are the way to go, but just please no double dipping. We are still in a pandemic, y'all.
No double dipping at any time,
Yes.
whether it's pandemic or not, in my book. I can't stand it. Have you ever caught somebody doing that?
Yes,
Seen them done
I
it?
have.
Yes.
A big thing about chips when it comes to me is when people just put their hands into the bag instead of like pouring it into. There's
Hi,
Tim.
Tim.
I'm here. I'm gonna
Instead of
stop.
pouring it onto like a plate or something like that.
Oh, yeah, just reaching in.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big one for
Yeah,
me.
you need to dump that out on your thing. So when I've seen someone do the worst is I actually saw someone with a chip one time dip and their fingers got in the dip too. And I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, that would have
No
ruined
more
it for me.
No, you can't put your whole self in the dip. That's not what you're supposed to do. I'm big on a queso dip. Are y'all fans of that?
Oh,
I
yeah.
do like a nice queso. I also like a good buffalo chicken dip. I told you guys that.
Which
I make
Lauren
a good
makes.
one. And Tim, what were your thoughts? Because you
Lauren
tried it.
had a terrific buffalo chicken dip for the Super Bowl, I would say, and it was a big hit.
Yes.
Actually, I
gone.
don't think there were leftovers.
Yeah,
as
it
far
was
I
all
can tell.
gone.
It's all gone. You have to make. I missed that one, so you got to make.
I'll
that
make a
again.
special container for you.
I like what is it? It's called. It's like my wife calls it taco soup, but it's really like beans and beef and tomatoes. It's almost like a.
Is
chili.
it like a 7-layer dip?
No, it's
kind
kind of
of
like
thing?
a chili
Okay.
almost, but
Yeah.
you take those Tostito scoops and just
I'll
eat
have
it
to
like
try
that out
that.
of a bowl. It's so good.
I like the spinach artichoke too.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't
Yeah,
know. Is
that's a
guac
good
a
one.
dip? That's maybe the
Yeah,
one thing
yeah,
I
that
can
I
could
do.
would
be a dip.
consider it a dip.
I can make that
Absolutely.
really well. I can't make a lot of things really well, but I can do a good guac.
Put hot sauce in your guac, Tim. That's killer. That is so
I'm gonna
good.
let you do that after you get a scoop.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. You love putting hot sauce
Hot
on
sauce in
stuff.
everything. I put hot sauce on my cheese, on
guac,
pizza. Yeah,
I got some
that's good.
jalapenos in there for you,
Pancakes.
though.
Tim, anything happening weather-wise we need to know about?
Yeah, I'm still keeping an eye, Eric, especially on this cell. We're looking southwest of Greensboro, near Asheboro and in between Asheboro and Lexington right now. We're going to keep an eye on this one. It's moving closer to Trinity. Just rain at the moment, but could it get a little bit stronger? We'll, of course, continue to have live radar throughout the show. Stick with us as the winds pick up across the Triad.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 4 to 5. I'm Eric Chilton along with Lauren Coleman, and we are watching severe weather move across the Triad.
Absolutely. You can watch us at home on Fire Stick, Roku, or the WFMY News 2 app, and we're also tracking this weather on our Facebook page as well.
Yes, we've got Tim Buckley standing by. If you look on that radar right there, you can see that that red area is